On January 28, 2025, Burkina Faso erupted in celebration as the nation marked the first anniversary of its historic decision to exit the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS. Across Ouagadougou and the country's remote villages, jubilant crowds gathered to commemorate a year of sovereignty, unity, and defiance against foreign influence. 1 year earlier, Burkina Faso, along with Mali and Niger, made a bold and unprecedented move, breaking away from ECOWAS and forming the Alliance of Sahel States. This new regional bloc was established to replace what its members saw as a compromised institution that no longer served the interests of Sahelian nations. For the people of Burkina Faso, this anniversary was more than just a political milestone. It was a testament to their resilience and determination to chart their own future. From public squares filled with chanting crowds to government halls where national leaders reaffirmed their commitment to us, this was a day of national pride. But what has changed in the years since the exit? How has Burkina Faso fared outside of ECOWAS? And what does this shift mean for the future of West Africa? Let's take a closer look. Across the country, celebrations were vibrant and spirited. Streets were lined with banners proclaiming, "Down with ECOWAS" and "Long live ES," echoing a widespread rejection of what many Burkinabes consider a neo-colonial institution. In Ouagadougou, thousands gathered in the city center, waving the flags of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger in a show of regional solidarity. The air buzzed with excitement as traditional drummers and dancers performed in honor of the anniversary. The mood was not just celebratory, it was defiant. For many Burkinabes, this was about reclaiming their nation's dignity. After years of growing discontent with ECOWAS, the decision to break away had been seen as a necessary step toward true independence. "We are finally free from a system that served others, not us," declared activist Mariam Traoré, who attended the festivities with her family. "Our leaders took a stand, and now it's our duty to support them in building a future that reflects our own values and priorities." The departure from ECOWAS was not a decision made lightly. In the years leading up to the withdrawal, relations between Burkina Faso and the regional bloc had soured due to a series of disagreements over governance, security, and foreign influence. Many in Burkina Faso saw ECOWAS as an organization that prioritized Western interests, particularly those of France, over the well-being of its own member states. This frustration grew even stronger as ECOWAS imposed sanctions on military-led governments in the region, including Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, following political transitions that the bloc deemed unconstitutional. But for many citizens, these governments were not the problem. They were the solution. Leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, Colonel Assimi Goïta of Mali, and General Abdourahmane Tiani of Niger were seen as symbols of resistance against foreign manipulation. ECOWAS was no longer an institution that represented us, said Issouf Ouedraogo, a university student in Ouagadougou. It had become a tool for Western powers to impose their will on African nations. With the sentiment growing, the three nations officially left ECOWAS on January 28, 2024, and by July 6, 2024, they had formally established IS, a coalition built on principles of sovereignty, mutual defense, and regional cooperation without foreign interference. 1 year later, how has Burkina Faso fared under ES? While the road has not been without challenges, national leaders and citizens alike view the transition as a success. Strengthened security cooperation. One of the primary reasons for forming AES was to develop a regional security framework that directly addressed the unique threats facing the Sahel. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have long struggled with terrorist insurgencies, and many felt that ECOWAS had failed to provide adequate support. Since leaving ECOWAS, the AES nations have strengthened their military coordination. In late 2024, they launched joint military operations to combat jihadist groups operating across their borders. Burkina Faso's Prime Minister, Jean-Emmanuel Ouedraogo, highlighted these efforts in his anniversary speech. "Enemies who sought to divide us have suffered crushing defeats," he declared. "Together with our allies in Mali and Niger, we have made significant gains in securing our territories." This shift has also led to increased military self-reliance, with the AES states seeking alternative partnerships with nations such as Russia, Turkey, and Iran for defense support, economic adaptation, and growth. Leaving ECOWAS meant economic adjustments, but Burkina Faso has taken steps to ensure stability. Trade agreements with Mali and Niger have deepened, and new alliances are being forged with non-Western partners. In particular, Burkina Faso has ramped up agricultural production to ensure food security, while also negotiating direct trade deals with other African nations outside of ECOWAS. While some economic hardships remain, such as restrictions on cross-border trade with ECOWAS members, AES leaders are optimistic about long-term self-sufficiency. "We have taken control of our economy," said economist Mamadou Sawadogo. "Yes, there were initial difficulties, but we are laying the foundation for an economy that benefits Burkinabés first." The first anniversary of Burkina Faso's exit from ECOWAS was not only about reflecting on political decisions, it was also about reaffirming the nation's commitment to its newfound path. At a public forum held in Ouagadougou's Independence Square, civil society leaders, students, and ordinary citizens shared their thoughts on the past year. Proposer Simpour, a mobilization officer with the Citizen Watch Coalition, praised AES leadership for prioritizing national interests. "This is not just political symbolism," he said. "It's a real commitment to improving the livelihoods of our people." Barnaby Samda, a grassroots activist, expressed pride in the decision to break away. "We've tasted freedom, and there's no turning back." Adama Cabaret, a local trader, noted how the transition had increased national unity. "For the first time in decades, we feel like we are in control of our own destiny." Across the board, one sentiment was clear. Burkina Faso has no intention of returning to ECOWAS. As Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger move forward with their vision for AES, the future remains uncertain, but filled with possibility. The alliance is still in its early stages, and many questions remain about how it will evolve. However, what is clear is that AES represents more than just an alternative to ECOWAS. It is a symbol of African nations asserting their sovereignty. Will other nations join AES in the future? Can Burkina Faso continue to thrive outside ECOWAS? How will global powers react to this shift in regional alliances? For now, Burkina Faso stands firm. As the nation marks the first anniversary of its bold departure, one message rings louder than ever. We are no longer under foreign control. We are masters of our own destiny. 1 year after breaking free from ECOWAS, Burkina Faso stands at a crossroads, one filled with challenges, but also with unprecedented opportunities. The celebrations across the country are not just about the past. They are about the future. As the nation continues to navigate its independent path with AES, its people remain united in their belief that this was the right choice. The road ahead may be difficult, but Burkina Faso has proven that it is ready to walk it on its own terms. The question now is, will more African nations follow suit?